Morning. Today I am going to take a topic function overloading. So function overloading is an important concept in object oriented programming. Uh, Here I am going to take the language Java programming for demonstrating the function overloading. For this I am going to present with the notepad. So there are OOPS concepts, data abstraction, data data encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance. So these are all the important concepts of object-oriented programming. So I took the topic polymorphism. So there are, there are two type of polymorphism in object-oriented programming. One is function overloading. One is operator overloading. So what is polymorphism? One act as one act as many. Okay? Yes. So for example, here I may act as a lecturer for taking classes for the students. When I go to home, I act as a parent for my wards. Okay, so one act as many. So the same one uh, do different tasks. Same one do different tasks according to the input. Okay. Basically, Java does not support for operator overloading. C++ support for both function overloading as well as the operator overloading. So how the function will be overloaded? How the function will be overloaded? Function overloading. So by based on number of argument, number of arguments, and based on type of the argument, type of the argument, not to the not to the type of not to the return type, not to the return type of the function. So these are all the way to creating function overloading. Okay, so by means of number of arguments and type of arguments. Okay, yes. So what is the syntax of a function? So basically a return type, a method name or function name, open bracket, then argument list. Okay, so I'm going to varying the argument list by means of number of arguments and type of arguments. I'm going to overload the function. Okay, yes. So every function have a definition. Every function have a function definition. Okay. Function definition here. Okay, within the curly brace you have to write. I'm going to I'm going to use the same function name and changing the number of arguments. I will do different definition execution. For example, I'm going to take adding number, function for adding numbers. Okay. Here I'm going to use I'm going to return the added value. So my function name is add. It's having arguments int x comma int y. here I'm going to use two arguments. Okay. Okay. Yes, I'm using only two arguments. Okay, then I'm going to return open bracket x plus y. I'm going to return the value to the main function, which is going to call it. Okay, yes. So this is the function name add. It's going to return the integer value. So I have a two arguments. There are two integer arguments. Now I'm going to varying the argument, varying the number of arguments. Just I'm going to copy this one. Add integer comma int comma z. Okay, I'm going to add one more argument to that one. Then I'm going to add this value. So the same function name hmm, will will execute different type of definition by means of sending the arguments from the calling function. Okay, yes. The next one is I'm going to changing the data type. Okay, so I'm going to copy the same thing. Add here I'm going to change float. Float. Then here also I'm going to change the float. So I am supplying two arguments and return a float value. Okay, so float. Here I took two floating point value. There I am took two integer values. So according to the type of the arguments, it is going to access the different function definitions. Here, suppose I am going to supply integer value means this function definition is going to execute it. This is not. Suppose I am going to give floating point value means this will be executed. This function definition will be executed. This is not. Okay. So by means of the function name, same function name, varying the argument type, I am going to execute two different definition. This is called as polymorphism. So one function name act as adding two integer value, here two floating point value. So here I am going to changing the data type. Here I am going to change the number of arguments. Suppose I am going to supply three arguments from the main function. So that is going to execute this function alone, not to any other function. Okay, and also I can demonstrate another one also. So here I'm going to return floating point value. Same way, I'm going to add one integer and one floating point value. I'm going to give int x comma int1 return float. So here I'm going to supply first argument as an integer, second argument as a float. Then this will be executed. Okay. Suppose I wish change some other one. Here I'm going to supply floating point value. Here I am going to apply integer value. So int. So there are here I put five different function with the same function name but varying arguments by varying arguments. Here suppose I supply two integer value means I'm going to the calling function having two integer value means this will be executed. Then first one is integer, second one is float means this definition will be executed. Okay. And then first one is float, second one is integer means this will be executed. So both are floating point means this will be executed. Suppose I am going to supply three floating point value means this will be executed. None other function cannot be executed. So this is called as function overloading. That is based upon the single function name, occur to the passing number of arguments, passing to the type of the arguments in order that will going to execute different function definition. That is called as function overloading. Okay, so this is the concept of this one. So I'm going to demonstrate this one using online compiler, so that I'm going to copy this content, total content, copy the functions along. I'm going to Java online compiler. Okay. So I'm going to share this online compiler to you. Okay, yes. So this is online compiler already taken. So I'm going to add a class main. So I'm going to add one class addition. Class addition. This is my class name. Okay, yes, this is a public class. So I'm going to copy the content. Okay. Yes. This is my class. Yes. Okay, yes. I finish the class here. Okay. This is the end of my class. So I'm going to put in the class. Okay, this is the class name. This is the function name. Yes. Main function. I'm going to print the values or the. I'm going to create a variable for this one for adding integer. Int add init add one. Okay, add one. First I'm going to call the first one. Add open bracket 5 comma 9. So I'm going to supply two arguments here. Okay, yes, I'm going to take a print of this one. Add one. Okay, this is the output of addition of two numbers, two integers. Okay, two integer value. Okay, this what's plus. Okay, now this. The same way I'm going to print three arguments. Addition of three values. So in the add one 5 comma 6 5 comma 6. Here I'm going to supply three values. Addition of three integers. In the same way, float. Float add to equal to add. I'm going to supply two floating point value 10.4 f. F indicating the floating point value. The default value of real number is double in Java. Okay, it's 10.4. Then 9.5. Okay, I'm going to add two floating point value. After that, I'm going to print the addition of that one. Okay, yes. So addition of 2 the println addition of two float value, two float value. Okay, leave some space between this, then we can have a proper visible output. Okay, next I'm going to add two values. My output is here 2. Okay, isn't it here 2? Because I'm going to add floating point value. The first one is two floating point value. Yes. First one is floating point value. Second one is integer value. Okay, 9. Okay, first one is integer value. Second one is one integer, one float. Okay, first integer, first int, second float. Okay, second float value. First int and second float is it? No. Second is an first is an float. Second one is integer value. Okay. The next one is what? Next one is I'm going to copy the same thing. Add 2, isn't it? Add 2 here. I'm going to make it a change. Add 2 because this is a floating point value. I'm going to copy this content. Control C. Float. Add 10 comma. First one is an integer value. Second one is a floating point value. Okay. F. Okay. Addition of first integer, first int, second float. Okay. First second int value. Int. Okay. Yes. Here also add. So here I'm going to call all the function. Okay, isn't it? So here I'm going to supply two arguments, two integer arguments. Here I'm going to supply three arguments. Here I'm going to supply two floating point arguments. Here I'm going to supply first one is a float, second one is an integer argument. Here I'm going to use first one is an integer, second one is a floating point. So according to the number of arguments and the type of the argument, which is going to call the different function definition. Okay. Yes. So I'm going to run this code. Error, because we are not creating an object. Okay, because we are not creating an object. Okay. So here I'm going to create an object addition a equal to new ADDITAY addition open bracket close bracket a dot add1. Okay, a dot add1. In the same way, all those things are going to change. Okay. Sorry. A dot a dot. So I'm not calling the function. Yes. I forgot to create an object directly I'm calling the function, and it's not possible because it's an object-oriented concept. Right? So that the methods are called by using object. Yes. It's a copying problem. Yes. Okay. So first one is 4 plus 5 9. Again add 6 15. Okay, here 5 plus 4, 5 plus 4 and a 9. Okay. Okay. So it's when I going to supply these two arguments, these are all two integer arguments. So that is going to call this function definition and not another any other. Okay. So here these two are added and the value is written and is assigned to a numerical value. Okay. Yes. Okay. Numerical integer value. Okay. This is assigned to add one. Okay. Yes. Is it correct? So this only called, this will be displayed here. The next we are supplying three arguments. So that is going to call the function definition, three argument function definition. That is these three values. Okay, and this will be added and the value returned to the main function. So main function is going to add one now, take the value of addition of three things, three values. The next we are giving two floating point value. Two floating point value. This will be given to this function definition. Two floating point value definition. So here this will be going to call assigned to this actual formula arguments from the actual arguments. Then that will be added and written. Okay, then written to add to. Okay, so for these two are added, the value will be 19.9. The next one is I am supplying first floating point value. Next one is integer value. Okay, then it will pass to this function. First one is a float, second one is an integer, and the values are added and written. No any other definition is called, only this one is called because of the argument. So based upon the type of the argument. First one is integer float, second one is a integer. So that we get this output. The same way, I am passing integer value along with the floating point value. So this is the output. So which one is called now? The first one is integer. So this method is called now. Okay, then output is displayed. So this is called as function overloading. The same method name, varying the type of the argument, varying the number of the argument, and varying the order type of the argument. We can overload. Okay. So this is the concept of object-oriented programming, function overloading. Okay, it is under the concept of polymorphism. Oops, concept of polymorphism. One act as meaning. Okay, thank you, students. Thank you for patient listening. So I think you are able to understand this function overloading. Thank you all.